Now to our segment, People First, and today the concept of discussion is about the new divorce laws which makes breaking a marriage all that much easier.
Well, is that indeed the case? The Cabinet today approved the amendment to the Hindu and the Special Marriages Act. The Marriage Laws Amendment Bill 2010 will be tabled in Parliament soon. After this clearance, it's now possible to get a divorce on grounds of, quote, irretrievable breakdown or incompatibility. Grounds so far are cruelty, mental disorder, conversion, desertion, or mutual consent. What does this mean? Let's ask a man of law. Lawyer Shoaib Alam is now joining us. Plain and simple, what does this really mean? There are some naysayers who say that this only will result in the breakdown of the institution of the marriage, as it were, will result in more divorce cases being filed in courts. Is that completely unfounded?
I think that this is a progressive law which recognizes and accepts the requirements of the present-day society. It provides for a dignified and a respectable exit mechanism for spouses who are unwilling to continue in a marriage for a genuine and a valid reason. There are many situations where many spouses are continuing only in a marriage for the reason that they cannot support themselves, etc.
True.
Now, presently only... Yes.
Right. Mr. Alam, I just got a viewer question in here. Devika writes in on our website, ibnlive.com, asking, irreversible breakdown. The word that's used in the law sounds a bit vague. Yes, it does. What does that mean? Isn't it subjective still?
The definition of irretrievable breakdown of marriage will have to be given in the Act. What comes across is this, that for a number of years the Supreme Court has, in spite of the fact that such a provision is not available in the Hindu Marriages Act or the Special Marriages Act, been granting divorces on this ground alone. When granting divorce on this ground, the Supreme Court is of the view that when the marriage has become dead, or there is no hope of salvaging a marriage like this, or where there are no emotions left and it would be futile to continue and to force the spouses to continue in a situation like this.
Okay.
It would be causing greater injustice to them than to bind themselves with mere technicalities and permit a marriage like this to continue. And it would only be in the interest of justice to end the marriage at a state like this.
Right. Shoaib Alam, there's another concern being expressed by Shashank, one of our viewers from Hyderabad, who've written in to ask, don't you think that dishonest husbands, as he puts it, could abandon their wives by misusing this amendment or this new law, as he put it?
I think that is the apprehension which is resounded a number of times. But the fact behind that is that I think it is slightly unfounded for a larger reason. Primarily, this is a provision which will be available for both the spouses, unlike the Domestic Violence Act, and which is a provision which is available only to women, etc.
Okay.
This is a provision which is available to spouses of both the gender, number one. Right. Number two, when an apprehension like this is allayed, it is unfounded for the reason that it ignores the very basis of a marriage, which is that there has to be mutual participation of both the spouses in it. And when one spouse is not participating in the marriage has anyways, there is no purpose to continue the marriage. Right. It is only an insoluble mess.
Right, fair point there, sir. But very briefly now, what do you think? What do you see this law doing to divorce cases? Do you see faster disposal of divorce cases from the courts, or do you now see an increase in divorce applications?
The divorce applications which have been filed till date are not going to be affected. Nevertheless, irretrievable breakdown, the inclusion of this provision in the law, is going to bring a respite to spouses who were earlier, who could not go to the court to seek a divorce only because the other spouse was unwilling to participate in the divorce proceedings primarily. Now, a number of times you see in common practice experience that a number of baseless and very vague and false and wrong allegations are leveled against one of the spouses by the petitioner in the court, only to match up with the requirement of the law as it is today. So therefore, I think that this is going to bring in a lot of accountability in divorce proceeding itself.